Alright folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to fix a leaky toilet. Okay, the reason that I have a feeling that this is leaking is because if you look right down there, you can see water coming through the bottom. Alright, see that water? Right there at the edge, right there along that edge, you can see that water coming out. Now, what that tells me is that there's a wax seal under there. That tells me that that wax seal is leaking. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to reach over here and turn your water off. Okay, find that and turn your water off. Next thing you want to do is flush your toilet. By flushing your toilet, this will let the water pressure off of that line. Okay, it will also not allow the tank to fill back up. Okay, you don't want this tank full. You need to empty this tank. So after you do those two things, after you turn that down there off and then flush it, what you're going to want to do is get you a sponge and sponge out as much of this as you can. Get it all out. Okay, same thing down there. Get it all out. Get all that water out as much as you can. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do with most of this water is I'm going to push it down through the pipes with a plunger. So I don't have to, sit there and pan it all out with a cup or whatever. Anyhow, we'll be back. After that, we'll show you the next step. Okay, everybody, the next step that you're going to want to do after you've emptied your bowl and your tank, is you're going to want to reach down here where your water supply goes in. Okay, and I don't know if you'll need a wrench maybe for yours if it has a fitting like this, but up at the top you will most likely on the newer ones have a fitting like this, and you can just undo that with your hand. So let me go ahead and undo that, and we should probably get a little spurt, but not much since we've emptied it out. Most of the pressure's off of it, so we lose a little bit of water, and that's expected. Not very much though, but we've got a towel right here just in case. Alright, be back with the next step. Okay, everybody, the next step that you're going to do is you want to locate your hold down bolts. Okay, there should be a little cap over it. On both sides of the toilet at the bottom, there is a hold down bolt. Now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get your wrench and remove both of those on each side. Okay, once you do that, we'll be back with the next step. Hang on. Okay, everybody, my bolts aren't coming out. The whole thing's turning. So, focus, please. Okay, there we go. So to get them out now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take this thing. I'm going to have to cut the tops of those bolts off on both sides because both sides are turning on me. And be back in a minute once I get them cut off. Okay, everybody, we've got the bolts cut off. Now we're going to go ahead and lift our toilet up. Let me see if I can get y'all a better shot. There we go. Okay, what I'm going to do is by supporting this back tank, I'm going to carefully tilt the whole thing forward until it's out of place. Now, as you can see, what I've done over here is I've laid a towel across my bathtub. The reason for this is I'm going to support that bathtub and that tank all together in one piece right there across that bathtub. Now, the next step that we will do is can y'all see me? The next step we'll do is reposition the camera. Okay, what we'll do now is we'll do a little cleanup work around the base of the toilet where the toilet went, and then we'll inspect the wood flooring underneath to make sure none of the wood got rotten. If it did, then we'll have to replace that before we continue. But what I'll do is I'll run up to the store now and I'll get another wax seal and another 2 hold down bolts for the toilet, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright folks, what I've done now is I've removed the old wax as much as I could. I've gotten most of that wax off of there. Okay, what I need to do now is while I'm at the store, I'm going to get some fuel for my torch, and I'm going to torch the rest of that old wax. I'm going to heat it up enough to where I can wipe it off with a rag. And same thing down there. I want to get that old wax out of there so the new wax will have something good to stick to. Alright, be back after we get home from the store. Okay everybody, just got back from the store from buying my new wax seal. Before I install it, what I want to do is use a torch to heat up this old wax right along here. I'm going to use a very small torch with a small amount of heat, that way I don't damage the toilet. We're going to heat that old wax up and get it out of there. Make a nice place for the new wax to seal against. Just heat that old wax up like so, and it just starts running off. Just like that. Wipe it off with a rag. You probably don't want to heat up around your holes and around the edges too much. You don't want this to crack. If you crack your toilet, then you're screwed. And don't blame me, because I'm the one telling you don't heat it up too much. Alright, I'm happy with that. Now, what I'm going to do, take my old seal, my new seal, take my new seal, it's going to go on just like that. Alright. Take it out of the box, or out of its little packaging. And get it ready to go in place. Just like so. Peel that back. Trying not to touch it too much. Just peel your wrapper off of it, like so. Okay. That goes in the trash, the wrapper. Now what I'm going to do, get the torch back out again. Now, I'm going to heat my wax seal up just a little bit. Just enough to get it sticky. Now, stick it in place. While it's hot, stick it on. Hold it there. Once that wax cools off, your seal should stick to your toilet. Well, maybe not. Let me heat it up a little bit better. There we go. Now I'm happy with that. Okay, with this wax seal also came a new set of hold down screws. So go ahead and install those. Let me zoom over here and show y'all. not using the most wonderful tripod right now, as you can tell. Be right back. Okay. Take my hold down bolts. Put one in there. Put one in there. Next, what you do, you take these little things, these little plastic washer things, and you push it down on there. That holds that straight up in place until you can get your toilet down on it. Okay, see what I mean? Just like that. That holds them in place. Now we'll put our new washers and bolts to the side until we flip our toilet over and set it on the hole. We'll be right back in a minute. Okay, everybody, I've guided the toilet down on top of the new seal, and before I tighten the screws down, I just want to sit on it. Just sit on it. This will push down and kind of seat that seal. Also, this also allows your toilet seat to go all the way to the ground. Or not your toilet seat, but your toilet. The base of your toilet. Because as you notice, when you put your toilet down on that new seal, your toilet's probably sitting up that far off the ground. Well, go ahead and sit on it and let it settle onto that new seal. And then go ahead and tighten your bolts down. Now, I think that mine is pretty much all the way down to the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten my bolts up on the sides. Down there at the bottom. And then this job is done. Then well, no, it's not. I'll be right back. Alright, folks, I've got it bolted down. The toilet's bolted down on both sides. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave my pliers here, because after using this for a few times and whatever, those bolts maybe need to be tightened up a little bit better. Also, I am not going to put caulking. A lot of people might put caulking around the base of the toilet. If I had caulking around there, I would have never seen that water coming out of there, and I wouldn't have known that there was a leak, and then my floor probably would have got rotten because I didn't know there was a leak. But since I did not have caulking, I caught the leak right away and was able to repair that. Okay, on this next step, what we'll do is we'll hook our water line back up. Just like that. And we'll stay right here and turn it on, so we can make sure there's no leaks. So go ahead and turn it back on. Okay, it's not leaking. Alright, go ahead and remove our towel out of there. I used a towel because it was a lot more practical than a sponge. This job's done. Go ahead and flush it a couple times and make sure that everything is handy dandy and you have no leaks. Alright? Hope y'all learned something this time, and I hope I was able to help you fix your toilet. Right here on Lunatics Channel.